Ich noch Dank sagen, auch im Namen des ganzen Teams, das hier hinter den Kulissen gewerkelt hat, den ganzen Sponsorinnen und Sponsoren, denn mit guten Worten und viel Tatkraft alleine lässt sich so ein Turnier auch nicht stemmen. Es braucht auch ein bisschen finanzielle Unterstützung. Wir haben ein paar unserer Sponsorinnen und Sponsoren oben eingeladen und möchten uns bei Ihnen auch mit einem Blumenstrauß bedanken. Ja. Aber der Ministerpräsident hat ganz klar gesagt, die Athletinnen und Athleten, die Turnerinnen und Turner stehen im Mittelpunkt und leider müssen wir uns jetzt von diesem schönen Bild hier in der Halle verabschieden und wir bitten die Meister von morgen unter tosendem Applaus aus der Halle.
A very warmest of welcomes to you indeed, to COTTBUS in Germany and a crucial weekend of Olympic qualification action in the sport of artistic gymnastics. The opening ceremony is done and dusted and we are just moments away from the start of competition in COTTBUS. And just look at the nations that have entered this competition, all represented by the youngsters doing a sterling job in carrying the placards. And we return to COTTBUS in Germany, a much-loved FIG World Cup competition. This is the second of 4 crucial Olympic qualification events for Paris 2024. Those of you who've been watching the qualification process right the way back from the 2022 World Championships will know how complicated the picture is. Those of you who are newer to the process, I shall do my level best to talk you through everything as we see the gymnasts on an individual basis. For this is individual qualification.
Jetzt sehen wir erstmal die Turnerinnen und Turner, die heute bei den Herren an den Boden, ans Pferd und an die Ringe gehen werden, mit deutscher Beteiligung übrigens. Und die Damen Sprung und Stufenbarren. Und das Ganze, wie gewohnt, auch nicht nur von mir kommentiert, sondern durch fachmännischen und fachfreuischen Expertise an meiner Seite mit jeder Menge internationaler Erfahrung, sowohl was aktiven Wettkampf und auch das Kommentatoren-Business betrifft. Ich begrüße Kim Bui und Ronny Ziesmer.
Great to have the legendary
ich begebe mich
Kim
jetzt
Bui
auch an meinen Platz, aber nicht ohne zu sagen, viel Spaß beim 47. Turnier der Meister in COTTBUS.
And in typical COTTBUS fashion, lengthy German speeches at some point give way to gymnastics. Because that's what you want when you're really nervous about Olympic qualification, is a very long opening ceremony. But it'll be worth the wait. Great to have your company. My name's Ollie Hogben and I'll be talking you through all of the action this weekend. And we wish the best of fortune to every single one of these competitors in the men's and women's event as they endeavour to secure their place at Paris 2024. Some of them already have done it.
Für Frankreich,
Others
Benjamin
have
Osberger.
real pressure on them. Benjamin Osberger of France in the men's floor final will be the first to go. He was the 6th best in qualifying.
Neutraler Athlet Yahor Sharumko.
Igor Sharumkov, individual neutral athlete, was the 2nd best
Für
performer in
Deutschland,
qualification.
Milan Hosseini.
Home hope Milan Hosseini of Germany, 4th best in
Für
qualification.
Israel, Artem Dolgopiat.
The reigning Olympic and world champion Israel's Artem Dolgopiat, top qualifier with
Für Kroatien,
14.9.
Orel Benovic.
Arel Benovic of Croatia, 5th best in qualification,
Für
a European
Korea,
Championship
Hansol
medalist.
Kim.
Kim Han-sol of the Republic of Korea, 7th best in
Und
qualification.
ebenfalls für Korea, Sonjun Rui.
Ryu Sung-hyun of the Republic of Korea, 3rd best in
Und für
qualification.
Großbritannien,
4th
Harry
at the Olympic
Hepworth.
Games. Harry Hepworth of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, 8th best in qualification. But
Und alle
with
erhalten natürlich jetzt
the
die Gelegenheit,
strongest
sich kurz
difficulty score and the
einzuturnen. Please
potential
start
to
warming
move
up.
up quite some way. The finalists in the men's floor competition at COTTBUS 2024.
Gesagt, Qualifikation.
This is a Paris 2024 qualification event Most of the gymnasts that you'll be seeing this weekend are trying their absolute hardest to secure the one applicable place in each of the apparatus categories that come from the World Cup series. So just to be explicitly clear, that means there are 10 qualification spots available, 6 for men, 4 for women, coming from these 4 World Cup events. The top 3 qualification performances across those 4 World Cups are the ones that will count. There will be a league table produced at the end of it, and to be frank, where we are now is still too early on in the process to be sure of a great deal, but we can at least reflect upon what happened in Cairo for those who did compete in Cairo in the first World Cup event of the season. For those who are jumping in quite literally for the first time this weekend, then they will have perhaps in some cases a little more pressure on them. Some of them, like this gentleman, represent nations who have qualified a team to the Olympic Games. Some of them, like Artem Dolgopiat, have already secured an all-around qualification spot in his name. So he's under a very different set of circumstances from many of the rest of them. Those gymnasts who have a team that has qualified for the Games, there's nothing sure for them. They still have to earn their place in that team. Those gymnasts like Dolgopiat who have secured an all-around qualification spot from the last World Championships, they are secure in going to the Games. It's a named place for them. Others like this gentleman have got it all to do, and good luck to him. Benjamin Osberger of France, first to go in this men's floor final. The 22-year-old from near Strasbourg, close to the border with Germany, was 5th in Cairo in the first World Cup event. He's also going for qualification on the pommel horse, and he was the 6th best qualifier here with a score of 14.433. Now, execution-wise, he was particularly strong in qualifying, the best of anyone. That was more like the sort of landing that we would expect from that high 8.5 execution score that he posted. It's getting stronger as it goes on. Very interesting start that from Benjamin Osberger of France. His landings were not as secure for the first couple of tumbling passes. As the routine went on, it really did solidify, and he had some elegance in the air. His twisting work is very composed looking. Keeps his heels nicely together, the arms wrap around into the body. Some deductions for those landing adjustments early on. Beautiful straight body position here in the Wendeschwings. Again, the heels together, great clearance off the mat. There's always a lot to enjoy about this stylish young athlete's work. He had the lowest difficulty score of any of the qualifiers for the final with 5.9. He was 4th in this competition in COTTBUS a year ago. Good crowd gathered in the Lausitz Arena. 14.1 for Benjamin Osberger. I mentioned after those first couple of tumbling passes that I wondered about the execution score compared to qualification. It is down by a couple of tenths. Added to that his single tenth of penalty marks. So all of that constitutes a drop of a third of a full mark from the preliminary round. To individual neutral athlete Igor Sharamkov, second in qualification with 14.566. The 24-year-old has competed at 3 World Championships. He was the champion in COTTBUS a couple of years ago. Did manage to get through that pike work, and I'm not sure that the form was as strong in the air in terms of the leg bend as it has been. A little shake of the head from him coming out of the tuck position likewise. Igor Sharamkov. He has been a medalist at World University Games level. 3 medals in World Cup competition. 2 of them have been. Didn't make any finals in Cairo. He's somebody who's in search of a qualification spot. He was a little low coming out of the front tuck. Did well to stabilise it. Landing-wise, that was probably the high point of the routine. The gymnast who has been on a European Championship podium on 2 occasions, including in the floor final in 2020. 14.133. Execution-wise, down by about half a mark from qualification. And it's quite clear to see why. Some of the issues in flight, and those tumbling passes, and also a little landing instability here and there. So both of the first 2 have had not the smoothest time of things. Just has opened the door for a youngster like Milan Hosseini from Heilbronn in Baden-Württemberg in the southwest of Germany, 600 kilometers from COTTBUS. He was a silver medalist in this World Cup in 2022. Well to hold that, just a little hesitant on his landing, the national champion on floor. But he's quite pleased with that display, and indeed should be. Milan Hosseini, 14.433, in qualification, the 4th best. Let's have a look back at this, the 3rd performance of the men's floor final in COTTBUS. He really has got so much better over the last couple of years, Milan Hosseini. A few form issues here and there in terms of the straightness of the legs, but the development is really nice to see in this hard-working young athlete. Had some extremely painful surgery on a shoulder injury a few years ago. It's been a difficult process for him. 14.333, so he's in the gold medal position as things stand. Now to the reigning Olympic and world champion, Israel's Artem Dolgopiat, 14.9 in qualifying. ...26-year-old who added that one thing missing from his collection in Antwerp last year when he took the world title. Dear oh dear, that's the landing of the day so far. Classic Dolgopiat. Yeah, lovely. That's so rapid double pike work. Just overcooked that a little. Oh, so elegant. It's a simple thing after all that we've seen from him so far, but he has that wonderful ability to combine power with good physics. Little danger of falling forwards there at the conclusion of the routine. So much about that working brilliantly from Artem Dolgopiat. How will it compare to the 8.5 execution score from qualification? He has already earned a place at the Olympiad through the World Championships last year. So for him, this is a different sort of preparation process. His place in Paris is secured. That's where he's over-rotated, coming out of the tuck position. 0.1 penalty, which he didn't have in qualification. Nice sense of uniformity to the Wendeschwings.
Das ist Bodentor par excellence.
14.866, just a fraction down. That's a very small drop, but he's still comfortably into the lead. Now to the second half of the competition.
Ist nochmal zu sagen, die Tour nochmal sich noch einstellen können, auf die Gegebenheiten. Das ist ein bisschen anders, obwohl es der gleiche Hersteller ist. Aber das Umfeld ist was anderes. Das Umfeld ist auf Boden ist es nochmal anders als hier auf dem Heimboden direkt. Das sind so kleine Unterschiede, wenn man das mal drauf machen kann, die Knopf auch mal sagen kann, hey, es ist nicht los. Das ist schon mal wichtig und wichtig und die natürlich auch bei Sicherheit.
Welcome if you are just joining the competition in COTTBUS. This is the men's floor final. The first of 10 events coming up over the course of this weekend. And there are 10 events that will lead to Paris 2024 qualification over these 4 World Cup events. This is the second of the 4. 2 places available per apparatus. And Arel Benovic of Croatia is going for one of those places. Troublesome beginning, but we must say what a joy it is to see this young athlete back. He had a dreadful injury last season, was not able to go to the World Championships. And unfortunately, as the 5th best in qualification, he's going to finish quite a way down the order now in this final. And it is the rankings in the final that will ultimately decide those Paris 2024 spots. And already is the owner of 8 World Cup medals, Arel Benovic, including in COTTBUS in 2022, a silver. Well, you have to feel nothing but the greatest of sympathy for him. We just remind ourselves that this is an athlete for whom a major part of Olympic qualification, those 2023 World Championships, were out of reach for him due to injury. It's wonderful that he's actually able to even be part of the qualification process now. For somebody who didn't make any finals in Cairo, and for somebody who's had issues here, well, it's made the process a much more difficult one. There are still very limited routes left available for a lot of the gymnasts, including continental qualifications, but we'll come to that another day.
Das macht es umso schwieriger. Mal 100 Dreifachschraube hinten, fast Standard mittlerweile schon am Boden geworden. Ja, da wird es ein bisschen ärgern. Aber wir werden das nicht zum letzten Mal hier gesehen haben. Ja, das hat man gesehen hier. Die Ärger tatsächlich liegt es in die Küssen.
11.433 for Arel Benovic. So Dolgopiat leads, Hosseini is in second place, and then it is Igor Sharumkov in third. There's a chance for somebody to vastly improve on their qualification performance when it really counts. This is Kim Han-sol of the Republic of Korea. 28-year-old from Seoul who has competed at the Olympic Games twice already. And he starts well. He was 7th in Cairo in the floor final after being the 2nd best in qualification. Could he now be the one that moves up as the 7th best qualifier here? That's interesting. 14.366 in qualification from a quietly pleased looking Kim Han-sol at the conclusion of that display. He didn't compete at the World Championships in Antwerp. He has been a medalist on vault at World Championship level. He's been an Asian champion on floor, so very accomplished and decorated gymnast over the course of his career. Gopiat leads. Kim Han-sol is now into 2nd place, 14.333, so he has been the big mover of this final. Kim Han-sol ahead of Milan Hosseini on the tie-break criteria. Although actually I believe they're showing as equal 2nd now. We'll come back to that and confirm it. Ryu Sung-hyun of the Republic of Korea, 3rd best in qualifying. Gymnast who was 4th at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Just a little wild there in his form in the air, perhaps. This is the gymnast who won in Cairo to start off the World Cup qualification process. It's just his 2nd World Cup gold medal after winning in Melbourne in 2020. Now, what's this going to mean for the 2 gymnasts from the Republic of Korea, one of whom has just vastly improved upon qualification, Kim Han-sol, who celebrates with Ryu Sung-hyun. Ryu recently was the World University Games bronze medalist on floor in Chengdu. 14.366, and that means that Ryu Sang-hyun has moved into second place. And just to remind ourselves that Artem Dolgopiad, who is leading, is not a significant obstacle for Ryu in terms of Olympic qualification. He was the winner in Cairo. Artem Dolgopiad already earning himself a spot at the World Championships. Now we go to Harry Hepworth. Eighth best in qualifying, but with massive difficulty that always makes him a threat. The 20-year-old from Great Britain. He's another of these gymnasts who over the last year or so have developed in the most striking of ways. It's now completely expected to see him as a finalist at continental and world level. Great Britain has qualified a team for the Olympic Games. That does not mean that individual gymnasts from their country cannot attempt to secure their own discrete World Cup qualification berths. Now that looked a lot more assured from an execution standpoint than the preliminary round. He had 0.4 of penalties as well in qualification, Harry Hepworth. And with the sort of difficulty that he puts into his routines on floor, he is always a contender to make a move up the standings in a final. There is room for somebody to sneak in to that position behind Artem Dolgopiad. At the moment it is Dolgopiad and Ryu, but Hepworth has actually gone ahead of him. Absolutely fantastic performance from Great Britain's Harry Hepworth. Well, I thought he would get close to it, and he was very close, to the extent where he was even a fraction better. And Harry Hepworth has bested the Olympic and world champion. Absolutely stunning display from Hepworth, who has just done his credentials the world of good. And we'll bring you the classified results in just a moment. And this is a suitable time for me to remind you that there are World Cup events in rhythmic gymnastics as well that will be taking place later this year. And I will leave you to enjoy this display. Well, that was an absolute delight, a moment of artistry, of stillness, of calmness. And now the classified results in the men's floor competition at the COTTBUS World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics. Harry Hepworth of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland taking the gold medal ahead of Artem Dolgopiat and Ryu Sung-hyun finishing in third position to take the bronze. It was a nice feature of the COTTBUS World Cup events when we get to see these performances from local gymnasts. And we are getting poised for the victory ceremony. It's now time for the victory ceremony for the men's floor competition of the COTTBUS World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics. Bronze medalist Ryu Sung-hyun of the Republic of Korea, a gentleman who was fourth at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Artem Dolgopiat of Israel, winner of the silver medal.
everyone in the booth so we can present you in a good way. Das war noch ein bisschen drin von unserer Qualifikationsplan. Aber es soll ja ein schönes Bild ergeben.
And we look out over the Lausitz Arena in COTTBUS and get ready for the women's vault and men's pommel horse competitions. The camera is at the wrong end of the line here. Just to clarify, we should have seen An Chang-ok of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the top qualifier, then Alice Vilkova of the Czech Republic, 4th best qualifier, then Oksana Chusevitna, 6th best qualifier. Now we have Valentina Georgieva of Bulgaria, 2nd best in qualifying. Great Britain's Abby Martin, the 8th best in qualification. Natalia Escalera of Mexico, 5th best in the preliminary round. Laia Font from Spain, 3rd best in qualifying. And the 7th strongest qualifier, Carla Navas of Panama. Now to the finalists in the men's pommel horse competition. Matvei Petrov of Albania, 3rd best, European champion from 2020. Laurent de Monk of the Netherlands, 7th best in the preliminary round. Ukraine's Ilya Kovtun, the 6th best in qualification. World all-around silver medalist from last year. Gogi Kachikian of Armenia, 4th best in qualification. Ahmad Abu Al-Soud of Jordanian, 2-time World Championship medalist, 5th best in qualifying. Nariman Kurbanov of Kazakhstan, the reigning champion of Asia, top qualifier. Benjamin Osberger of France, 8th best in qualification. And Ho Ung of the Republic of Korea, 2nd best in qualification. He was the silver medalist in Cairo behind the Jordanian Ahmad Abu Al-Soud. The finalists in the men's pommel horse competition, the top performer in qualification, Nariman Kurbanov, he'll go 6th in the order. The gentleman who won in Cairo, Ahmad Abu Al-Soud, will go 5th. This is an extraordinarily competitive and tight pommel horse race for the Olympic Games. The finalists in the vault competition. Top qualifier, the champion in Cairo, An Chang-ok of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. She has absolutely comprehensively the difficulty to win this. The 2nd best in qualification was over half a mark behind. That's Valentina Georgieva of Bulgaria. So just to go through those Olympic qualification protocols one further time. Not every gymnast here is going for a spot at the Olympiad because they have already secured potentially an all-around spot at the World Championships, or because they're part of a team that has qualified for the Games, like the Netherlands. And so they are not eligible, if you're from a team that's already qualified, to win one of the World Cup spots. There are some gymnasts who have not secured a World Championship place and not secured a team place, or whose nation has not secured a team place. For them it's clear-cut, everything counts here without any ifs, buts and maybes. For the gymnasts from most of the continents, there are still continental spots to be awarded, but a tiny number across the world. The America spots have already been settled due to Santiago 2023, the Pan American Games. And if all of this is giving you something of a headache, I entirely understand. It's rather complicated. But what is absolutely clear is the men's pommel horse race is one of the most competitive in all of the 10 apparatus routes. It is going to be very, very hard to secure a place at Paris 2024. I can even say the name of the Olympiad correctly, it would be a good start, through the pommel horse route. You have in there people like Matvey Petrov, who was the first reserve in the Olympic final last time around. Bulgaria's Valentina Georgieva back in competition after a dreadful injury at the European Championships of 2022. It's wonderful to have her returning. To the men's pommel horse final. Albania's Matvey Petrov, third best in qualification, a winner of 7 World Cup medals, 4 of them gold, and he first competed in COTTBUS in 2014. He was 14th in Cairo. This is an enormously important routine for him to try to get one of those 2 pommel horse spots. Clearance is pretty secure so far. Now, the flare work. This is going well. Good beginning there from Matvey Petrov of Albania. Scored 15 in qualification. Well, his execution score in qualification, 8.6. .833. Execution down just a fraction, but it's very strong to begin. Now, there are some big scores likely to come. On the subject of big scores, let's go over to vault. And Chang Ok, 20 from Pyongyang in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Top qualifier. Starts with the double twisting Yurchenko. She is the reigning Asian Games champion. Won the title in Hangzhou last year in the delayed games. A little offline on the landing, but it's a powerfully executed vault. the champion in Cairo.
In der Landezone und da ist sie drin geblieben. Kann sie wirklich sehr zufrieden damit sein mit diesem Sprung.
But what really is the key differentiator for her, as we see a score of 13.866 for the first, not quite as tidy as qualification, is that she has a Cheng as her second vault. And this is absolutely the most difficult vault that we expect to see in this final. Well, well, well. Could be another place at the top of the table for An Chang-ok of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. There are not a huge number of gymnasts in the world to use the vault created by Chung Fei. Fantastic gymnast from days gone by. She's a little piked as she lands. The form is not the most secure in the air, but it is performed, and if it's performed with a large degree of correctness in this sort of final, looking at the difficulty aggregate scores across the field, it's going to be good enough for victory, you would suspect. She scored 14.233 in qualification. 14.133 for a 13.999 average. So she is down a little from qualification from an execution standpoint. Now to Laurent de Monk of the Netherlands. Seventh best in the preliminary round. He was 10th at the last World Championships. He's just about getting the clearance. He's a little close in places. Small bend of the leg there. He recovers quickly from it. Does such nice work on this piece. Heels well together. Plenty of power. Shivado work is tidy looking. Just a couple of issues going around into that dismount, but it was very nicely performed by and large from Laurent de Monk, the young man from the west coast of the Netherlands in Haarlem. Silver medalist at the European Championships of 2022, the first ever Dutchman to accomplish it. He's a very interesting individual, is Laurent de Monk, a researcher in biology, a graduate of the University of Applied Sciences in Leiden. He is, among other things, fluent in sign language. His difficulty was strong in qualification, 6.5. 14.133, the difficulty is down quite a bit. Oh no, there we go, that makes more sense. 14.666, same difficulty as in qualification. And he is in second place, exactly the same score as in the preliminary round. Now we go to Alice Vlková of the Czech Republic. She has a double twisting Yurchenko in her arsenal, and A compressed landing from the 16-year-old from Brno in that aforementioned 5.0 difficulty vault. She's the reigning Czech champion on vault and also in all-around competition. She was 4th in Cairo. Still very new to the senior circuit, isn't it, Vilkova? .6 for this vaulting qualification. Naturally it will be a fair bit down from that. 12.466. She made her senior international debut in COTTBUS a year ago. Employs the layout Sukahara full as her second vault. I would say Vilkova. What a shame that that double twisting Yurchenko just didn't quite work at the start, but she's a gymnast heading in the right direction. That can't be questioned.
Worauf es hier heute ankommt. Ja, beim ersten Sprung ist es ja leider nicht gelungen. Der zweite Sprung dafür besser.
She has won international honours in World Challenge Cup competition, including a silver medal on vault.
Im Mittelwert, ja.
So 12.783 is the average, a 13.1 for the second vault, the layout Sukahara full. Exactly the same as qualification, but she's down overall as expected after that first vault. To Ilya Kovtun of Ukraine on the pommel horse, the 20-year-old. Still think it's remarkable that he's only 20, considering how much we've seen of him over the last few years of competition. Part of a Ukrainian team that has secured a place at the Olympiad and strongly expected to be at the heart of it. He was the 6th best in qualification. Well-controlled flare work, a small amount of bend in the centre of the body. Coming out of that. Secure hand placement in the Wendeschwings. Nothing of real concern here for Ilya Kovtun as he shows real strength going up into the pirouette to conclude his display. His performance on the parallel bars in Cairo was just superb. All-around silver medalist at the last World Championships, Ilya Kovtun. is a score of 15 for Ilya Kovtun. He's managed to gain a couple of tenths from qualifying in terms of his execution. It did look very tidy, didn't it? Now to Oksana Chusovitna of Uzbekistan. The 48-year-old who has competed now at 8 Olympic Games, 17 World Championships. Oh, well, she did not make the final in Cairo. Oksana Chusovitna sitting down the first vault. Gymnast whose longevity in this sport is absolutely unparalleled.
Also das ist ja ihre 18. Teilnahme beim Turnier der Meister. Also das muss man sich echt mal auf der Zunge zergehen lassen. 1989 war sie hier das allererste Mal dabei beim Turnier der Meister. Einfach wirklich unglaublich. Die Wertung ist da für den ersten Sprung
12.5. She will know
und damit kann sie sich bereit machen für ihren
potential significance of that not going in her favour. And she responds well with a good second vault, Oksana Chusovitna, but the first vault 0.8 down from qualification. She was the winner of the Vault World Cup title last year across the events, but things looking a bit tricky for her in terms of a route to Paris 2024 now. The second vault, that was perfectly securely executed, the Tsukahara full.
2013 wieder für Usbekistan. Das ist ja wieder unglaublich.
.833 is the average. She is in second position by virtue of the high degree of difficulty. So it is An Chang-ok who leads, then Oksana Chusovitna, then Alitse Vulkova, Gurgit Kachikian of Armenia. Now on the pommel horse. He was 22nd in Cairo. .833, fourth best in the qualification process here. This is looking pacey and smooth. It's one of the gymnasts who really needs these World Cup events. There's no Armenian team going to the Olympic Games, and that was very nice to watch from young Gurgit Kachikian. He's only 21, the man from Yerevan. Won the silver medal in COTTBUS last year. small loss of his form towards the end, but it wasn't a huge amount. His execution was 8.333 in qualification. He has been a gold medalist at World Challenge Cup level. His score is 14.8. Just a little down in execution from qualifying, and that puts him in third place. Now to Valentina Georgieva of Bulgaria. Huge congratulations to her on making it back from a fractured thigh and torn knee ligament at the European Championships in Munich, and she starts with a 1.5 twisting Yurchenko vault. 4.6 difficulty score. The road that she has been on has been incredibly tough, full of grueling rehabilitation. Such a remarkable young athlete, so disciplined and determined. There would have been nobody who wouldn't have understood if she'd stepped away from the sport after Munich 2022. It was a harrowing injury. It took a long time to remove her from the field of play. She was obviously in great pain. She's just 17. She is remarkable. 13.433 for the first vault, 1/10 shy of her qualification score. The second vault is also tidy looking from a pleased Valentina Georgieva. Just to remind you, 2 spots available at the Olympiad from each of these apparatus qualification paths. It was a powerful looking layout, Tsukahara full. She was the silver medalist in Cairo.
Аз затова казвам, че ние не сме тук, аз трябваше да сме последния, напред, а не с десния.
13.366 for a 13.399 and second place for Valentina Georgieva. Matching her qualification display. 6/10 behind An Chang-ok, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, who still has the lead. That takes us to the halfway mark of the women's vault final. Over in the men's pommel horse, it's Ilya Kovtun who leads. Kovtun of a Ukraine team who have secured a place at the Games. So we then think about the likes of Matvei Petrov of Albania, who's in second place, just ahead fractionally of Gugit Kachikian, the Armenian. And it probably will come down to those tiny hundredths. An Chang-ok comfortably ahead of Valentina Georgieva, with Oksana Chusovitina of Uzbekistan in third place. For some of the gymnasts, their qualification hopes will continue after today. For some of them, they will know realistically that the path is narrow, if not leading to a locked door. I think it's important for all of us to remember that for these gymnasts, that door is only closed when it's closed, and even if it seems unlikely that they're going to make it, you just never know what might happen in other circumstances, whether there'll be reallocated spots, whether there will be continental qualification success. Nothing can be signed on the dotted line until those final allocated places are confirmed for the Olympiad in Paris. For some gymnasts, they will be thinking not so concretely about Paris 2024, but about Los Angeles in 2028. Some of the new seniors coming through. There are always some surprises, aren't there, here and there? There are always those who you don't expect to be contenders for their team, who end up taking a place. Maybe they just come into form at the right time. Maybe there are other members of the team who are not able to compete. Once again, thank you all of you for joining and being part of the coverage of the FIG World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics in COTTBUS, Germany at the Lausitz Arena. Great to have you with us as part of this journey that the athletes are undertaking to try to get to the greatest stage of them all, Paris 2024. And there's somebody who's entirely relaxed about the whole process, and let us all learn from their example. Best way to enjoy my commentary, that. Well, what a gymnast we have here. What a gymnast. Ahmad Abou Al-Soud from Jordan. 2 times a World Championship medalist. Silver in Liverpool, and then a year on, bronze in Antwerp. He won in Cairo and comes into this as the 5th best in qualification. And he's going well. He's got lovely height, beautiful clearance over the pommels. Lots of good one-handle work in this routine to gain his difficulty. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice from Ahmad Abou Al-Soud. Do you know, not so long ago, this is a gentleman who really struggled with finals. He really struggled with finals. He was so often a top performer in qualification who could not manage to stay on the apparatus in the final. But something has clicked of late with him, and it's a wonderful thing. There's another way that he bolsters difficulty, that big move with the hands across portions of the apparatus. He takes huge strides with his hands, and it's clever gymnastics. Now we'll see what we see in terms of difficulty here. I thought he was going to be up quite a bit from qualifying. I was about to say that the score of 15.3 comes in He had a 6.0, I should say, in the preliminary round. Was playing it safe, evidently. Now he's gained half a mark. He goes into the lead. And he's really put the pressure on Nariman Kurbanov, who's next to go. Now we go to Abby Martin of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland on vault. Just 15. Well, she did well to hold on to that, Abby Martin. New to senior international level. What a brilliant year she had. Last year, a clean sweep of the junior all-around titles at the British, English and Welsh Championships. It's not the tidiest piece of vaulting we've seen from her. Yurchenko 1.5. In the air, not so great, but that landing, I mean, it's a phenomenal save. And that's great maturity from a young gymnast to hold on to that. Well, she had a higher difficulty score in qualification for the first vault by 4/10 because she will receive a 4.6 maximum difficulty score for that vault. 13.1, so she's down half a mark from qualification. But considering that she really did miss the block almost in its entirety, she did incredibly to land it. And being a great gymnast isn't, as I'm sure many of you know, always about what you manage to get right. It's about how you minimise what you don't get right. A little compressed there in the handspring front pike landing. Youngest competitor in the final, bright future, no question. No question about that for the youngster from the southwest of England.
Leicht die Beine geöffnet hinten. Ein bisschen zu spät geöffnet, da musste sie einen Schritt nach vorne machen. Sie ist relativ tief gelandet. Ja, das sind
Great Britain has already qualified a team for the Olympic Games. They were one of the first teams to qualify back at the 2022 World Championships. Martin 12.65, 12.2 second vault, very similar to qualification. And we congratulate her on making her full senior international debut. Now we go to an experienced gymnast who's been put under pressure by that excellent performance from Ahmad Abu Al-Soud. This is Nariman Kurbanov of Kazakhstan, who scored 15.6 in qualification. That's 3/10 higher than we have just seen from the Jordanian. And this gentleman was 5th in Cairo. He needs this. Good luck to him. His work is so difficult. His extension is extraordinary, toes pointed. Such a long-looking body line. He's handled that very well, hasn't he? A pressure performance from the experienced Nariman Kurbanov, the reigning champion of Asia. He beat Ahmad Abu Al-Soud in Singapore at the Asian Championships last summer. His development over the last several years from a mental standpoint has been brilliant. He had a tough World Championships though, finishing 16th after 2 consecutive 4th place finishes in 2021 and 2022. We should say as well, coming into this, that COTTBUS has not been his friend. Over the last couple of editions, he has been the top qualifier twice in COTTBUS before and finished 3rd and 7th respectively. That was very well done. He's gone into the lead, 15.433. Still the picture is very bright looking for APPARATUS Al-Soud, who won in Cairo after all. We go to Natalia Escalera of Mexico, 5th best in qualification. She is the reigning Mexican all-around champion. And she had an excellent 2023 internationally. Little hop to the side in the 1.5 twisting Yurchenko vault. Certainly goes out of bounds, very clear from that angle. She's been a medalist at the Pan-American Games, the Pan-American Championships, the Central American and Caribbean Games. And she was 3rd in Santiago at those aforementioned Pan-American Games last year. 13.1. That mark is down by several tenths from qualification. Second vault, secure looking from Natalia Escalera. Tidy performance from the Mexican. Sugahara full for the second vault. So she's in 3rd place, 13.1 the average. 13.1 for both of the vaults from Escalera. Tidier execution for the second as expected. Still, Georgieva second and ahead in 1st place. Benjamin Osberger, penultimate gymnast on the pommel horse. 8th best in qualification. He was 4th at the World Cup in Cairo. We've already seen him in the floor competition. Goes nicely into the handstand. Lost his leg form and didn't he recover that well? I think, well, unfortunately it caught up with him. It's really regrettable from Benjamin Osberger. It's so difficult when the gymnast endures a form break right at the start of the routine. Does he get a little clip on the apparatus? Well, I was talking about before that, but certainly there wasn't when he actually came off. was a very accomplished routine over 2 halves from Benjamin Osberger, as it always is. It's a technically highly skilled young gymnast. It's a shame that that happened so early on in the exercise. It looked for a moment as though he had managed to close the door on that break in form, but actually it did catch up with him. He's been looking to push the difficulty up by a couple of tenths over the last year or so. 12.933. Unfortunately for him, that is a mark and a half lower than qualification. Just 1 to go on the pommel horse. Jordan and Abou El Soud secure of medals. Now to Laia Font of Spain, the penultimate gymnast to vault. Third best in qualification, 13.366. Spaniards have a team spot at the Olympiad. There's a big adjustment back step from the landing of the double twisting Yurchenko.
Interessant für mich, dass sie da mit so turnt. Finde ich nicht.
Just to correct myself from a moment ago, the Spanish men's team have secured a full complement at the Olympiad. 13.6 for Laia Font for the first vault. So just 1 left now in the women's vault final. As a very happy Laia Font, 17, just a matter of 4 days ago, departs. She's made 3 World Cup finals, yet to win a medal, as she managed to get onto the podium here.
Und tatsächlich ein Fun-Fact dazu, ich habe vorhin mit ihr gesprochen, sie hat gesagt, ja, dieses Jahr ist so schönes Wetter, hier ist nämlich ihre zweite Teilnahme hier beim Turnier der Meister.
Und letztes Jahr hat es Turnier
der Meister geschneit und hat sie gesagt, das fandet sie so toll, so cool, weil sie Schnee liebt. Hat man vielleicht nicht so oft in Spanien tatsächlich, aber hat sie gesagt, das findet sie cool, leider dieses Jahr kein Schnee.
She is into third place with 13.283, 12.966 for the second vault, just as was the case in qualification, and that means that there's a good chance that Laia Font may be about to secure her first ever honours in World Cup competition. We have 1 competitor left, but what a competitor! Ho Ung, the Republic of Korea. (24), yet to compete at World Championship level, but the runner-up in Cairo and the second best in qualification for this final. Has such a strong position. His body very straight throughout the routine. There's a smoothness to his work. Very good finish to the men's pommel horse final, courtesy of Ho-ung of the Republic of Korea. Barely known at full international level, this gymnast, but what quality he has. Just had a little moment or two of unsteadiness here and there, but it was disguised so well into very small pauses, nothing great. It's easy to see why he had such a lovely execution score in qualification, and that's how he's gone about his business. Very crisp execution, not the same degree of difficulty as some of the others. Look at the toe point as he motors around into the pirouette at the end. Very nice, almost balletic. Nice gymnastics, and it's paid off again. 15.3. Gains a little difficulty, 2/10. His execution, much the same as qualification, just down by a single tenth. And he's on the podium. We'll come back to that in a moment. We have one last vault to come. Carla Navas of Panama City, with its population of 1.9 million in the centre of Panama. Many of them watching on and hopeful for her as she starts with a 1.5 twisting Yurchenko, a little offline. She's been a continental champion on vault. Has a great record in multi-sport games competition. She's the reigning all-around champion at the Central American and Caribbean Games. Won several medals at the Bolivarian Games in 2022.
Letzte Woche beim Weltcup in Kairo noch auf Platz 11 gewesen. Diese Woche hat es ins Sprungfinale geschafft. Und dann sind sie natürlich auch
13.033, so she has 0.3 of penalty marks.
ersten Sprung 13,033. Und Sie sehen hinten Penalty ab zu der 0,3, also dann noch mit beiden Füßen draußen gewesen. Und das Publikum für den zweiten Sprung.
Second vault, the last vault to come in this women's vault final. Year-old Carla Navas. Oh, well, she again has managed to get through that with real physical strength, and she's absolutely thrilled about it. Goodness me, Carla Navas of Panama. She's absolutely overjoyed. Let's have a look back at it again. This is extraordinary. That is not a vault that we see very often at all. Round off, half on. It's just a question of whether it's a layout or pike position. Staff in a vault. That is not something that one sees hugely often at all. fabulous.
Genießt noch ein bisschen die frische Luft.
What a conclusion to the women's vault final. Yes, she's got it! She has got it, 13.383, and she has the bronze medal. And what's so crucial there is that she is, with 13.733, a full mark higher in difficulty than she was in qualification, hence the reaction. Oh my goodness, Carla Navas of Panama is on the podium. She's just got in there ahead of Leia Font. That is an absolute triumph for the teenager from Panama City.
Toll. Das sind Sachen, die gibt es, glaube ich, auch nur beim Turnier der Meister. Und wir machen Meisterhaft weiter.
I tell you what,
Ich habe Ihnen ja in der zweiten
Lots of extra entertainment provided for you in the arena. The local organising committee in charge of the COTTBUS World Cup. It's been a fixture of the International Gymnastic Federation's calendar for quite some time now. We always get a little fun and frivolity around the event, as now the podium is being established for the women's vault and men's pommel horse ceremonies. Will be in a moment. But now we turn our attention to these young gymnasts.
I'm down for the ride, baby, don't you know I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. 'Cause I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright, baby, I'ma have the best fucking night of my life. And wherever it takes me, I'm down for the ride, baby, don't you know I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. Things alive. No matter where I go, it's a good time. Yeah. And I don't need to sit in VIP.
Congratulations to those excellent young gymnasts. Well done to them. And I can only apologise for the totally needless use of the vernacular during the music choice there. I don't know who made the decision to play that music, but it wasn't the best one. The classified results in the men's pommel horse competition. Nariman Kurbanov winning the title ahead of Ahmad Abu Al-Soud as the race for Paris 2024 goes on. The victory ceremony in the women's vault competition. The bronze medalist Carla Navas of Panama with the Mustafina vault to take third place right at the end. Absolutely brilliant. Valentina Georgieva of Bulgaria, who's come back from injury, continues. She takes second place, 2 World Cups in a row. But there is no doubt whatsoever who is the dominant performer in women's vaulting in World Cup qualification this year. It's An Chang-ok of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. 2 golds in a row.
Die Silbermedaille wird überreicht von Dr. Nehat Sayed. Sie ist Mitglied des Technischen Komitees Frauen in der FIG. The silver medal is presented by Dr. Nehat Sayed, member of the Technical Committee Women of the FIG. Und die Bronzemedaille wird überreicht von Johanna Gratz.
The medalists in the women's vault competition. And we will now have the national anthem of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Und ich bitte Sie nun, sich für die Hymne zu erheben. Und das ist der Applaus für die 3 besten Springerinnen beim 47. Turnier der Meister in COTTBUS. Ein schönes Bild. Zeit für ein Selfie muss sein.
Impeccable timing on the podium and off it from that great young gymnast from Panama, Carla Navas. Now we have confirmation of those final standings in the women's vault competition. The victory ceremony for the men's pommel horse competition at the COTTBUS 2024 World Cup, an Olympic qualification event.
Die Siegerehrung beim Turnier der Meister für Pferd. Die Turnier der Meister Grand Ceremony for Pommel Horse. Der 3. Platz und damit die Bronzemedaille geht an Bonggur aus Korea.
The winner of the bronze medal, Hua-ung from the Republic of Korea. This after his silver medal in Cairo. Really strong performances from him. The silver medalist here after winning the title in Cairo, Ahmad Abu Al-Soud of Jordan. He's in a very good position with 2 events left. The double world championship medalist. But today he was beaten, just as he was at the Asian Championships last year, by this man, Nariman Kurbanov, who after finishing 5th in Cairo has really now got his Olympic qualification bid kick-started. That was an excellent performance from a gymnast under some real pressure. And it's setting us up for a fabulous finish in the Baku and Doha legs.
The bronze medal is presented by Tournament Director Mirko Wohlfahrt. Und auch hier bitte ich Sie, sich für die Hymne zu erheben. Und natürlich noch ein Abschlussfoto für die Annalen des Turniers der Meister.
The medalists in the men's pommel horse competition at the COTTBUS 2024 World Cup.
Ein bemerkenswertes Turnier in diesem Jahr. Und so, meine Damen und Herren, sehen Sieger aus. Ja, es ist schon irre. Wie gesagt, 73 Nationen sind angetreten und Überraschungsgäste haben wir tatsächlich gehabt im Finale, die wir vielleicht am Anfang in den Qualifikationen nicht so auf dem Schirm hatten.
We have more to come. 2 medal events remain, the women's uneven bars and the men's still rings, to conclude our coverage in COTTBUS on the first day. And let's get right on with the action. have a look at the contenders.
Tschechien bei Vanessa Mazova.
Vanessa Mashova of the Czech Republic, 15 and the reigning junior national champion 2 years in a row. Natalia Escalera of Mexico, 7th best in qualification. Has been a medalist at the Pacific, or the Pan American Championships, I should say. Kélia Namour of Algeria, the reigning African all-around champion and the World Championship silver medalist on the uneven bars. Then 2 gymnasts from the People's Republic of China, Hu Jiafei and Zhang Yihan. 2 new seniors, Georgia Rose Brown of New Zealand, 6th best in qualification. Aljona Tsitsavets, independent neutral athlete, 15, new to the senior international scene. Maëlys Brassard of Belgium, 5th best in qualification. Samir Aid Said will be first to go in the men's rings final, 2nd best in qualification. Vincent Herk of Austria, the 6th best in qualifying and a European Championship medalist. Jong Il of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, 8th best in qualifying, but the winner in Cairo last week. Artur Avatisyan of Armenia, 5th best in qualification, a World Universities champion. Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan, top performer in qualification, followed by Vahagan Davtyan of Armenia, 4th best in qualifying. Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain, 7th best in qualification, 2-time Commonwealth Games champion. His teammate Harry Hepworth in as the first reserve. The British gymnast is in due to the withdrawal of Mahdi Ahmad Kohani of Iran, who was the 3rd best in the preliminary round. Finalists in the women's uneven bars competition. The top performer in qualification, unsurprisingly, Kélia Namour of Algeria, recently turned 17, a silver medalist from the World Championships in Antwerp and the owner of one of the greatest routines in gymnastics in the world at the moment. And I don't just mean in the uneven bars, one of the greatest in any form of gymnastics. The rings finalists in COTTBUS, top qualifier Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan scored 14.6 in the preliminary round. There is definite potential for others to challenge that score, like Jong Il of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. He was the 8th best in qualifying, but won in Cairo to kick off this World Cup qualification cycle. Once again, just to remind you, 2 qualification berths available on each apparatus for Paris 2024. Not everybody is attempting to qualify for the games through this route. Only the gymnasts who are not part of a team that's already qualified are even eligible for this. And there are other gymnasts who've already secured a named qualification place. That may have been through the all-around competition at the last World Championships or as one of the apparatus qualifiers. And in the case of the Americas, the continental qualification spots have also been allocated after the Pan American Games in Santiago. Still, there is some way to go before we have that full list of names for Paris 2024. case of a gymnast like Kéliane Moore. She has already earned a named qualification spot from the World Championships as an all-arounder. She performed excellently there, finishing 8th at her debut World Championships. Nervous times for not just fans but for teammates of gymnasts, for the coaching staff, for their friends and their family who've been with them on this journey. And in the case of some of them, like him, Sami Ait Saeed, a journey that's had its fair share of ups and downs and that has gone on for years and years. Here we go then with Sami Ait Saeed of France, 34, from about 12 kilometers from the city centre of Paris. He was 5th in Cairo, and he would love nothing more than to go to his home Olympiad. He's up into the planche position. Drops low and then up into Maltese, showing good control. Nice handstand, very steady. And the Jonasson combination into a Maltese. Quite level looking in the iron cross. Slight flicker on the handstand. Can he hold the landing? That's very good from Sami Ait Saeed. Very good. Oh, what he's been through. What he's come back from. An appalling injury at the Olympiad in Rio. He knows better than most what it is to recover from something like that. He is himself a physiotherapy graduate. He carried the flag for his nation at the opening ceremony of Tokyo 2020. And as somebody who is an enormous fan of martial arts, he's a very good kickboxer and practitioner of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It meant a huge amount to him to carry that flag with Clarissa Gbonjanu, one of the finest judoka in the world. It would mean the world to him if he could get to his home Olympic Games. .666 is up by just over a tenth from qualification. Strong beginning that, when you consider the top qualifier was 14.6. We go to Vanessa Mashová of the Czech Republic. Uses the Stolda Shaposhnikova with a half turn. Up for the straddle Jaeger somersault and into the pack salto. Lots about that was very promising from this 15-year-old from Brno, the second city of the Czech Republic. She's been a dominant force nationally at junior level for a couple of years now. Didn't make any finals in Cairo in her senior international debut. Now she is a World Cup finalist for the first time. Some of her swingfulness just loses its form here and there. At other times it's very crisp. She is a work in progress as a gymnast, but a very promising work in progress. And it's always a big moment for an athlete when they get into the first international final at senior level of their careers. And events like the new Junior World Championships really help to bridge that gap as the score of 13.4 comes in. Almost the same as qualification, and that's a great accomplishment to go out there and be consistent from qualifying to a final at that age. Vinzenz Herk of Austria, 27. Competed at his 8th World Championships in Antwerp last year. He was 6th in the rings final. Didn't have the result he wanted in Cairo. He was 9th. Oh, what a nice level shoulder presentation. Such strength going up into the Maltese as well. Good symmetry, Jonas and Yamawaki combination. Again, he's got the shoulder position just right. He does flicker, doesn't he, a little? Nice handstand. That's quite a big step forward, unfortunately, as he lands. Vinzenz Herk. Such an accomplishment when he got onto the European podium in 2020. The first Austrian to do that since 1955. But you just wonder about the cost of the dismount for Herk. Jonasson to Yamawaki was very nice. He's piked, bent in the midsection as he lands. Step forward is substantial. 14.166 for Vinzenz Herk. The pressure on all of these athletes is enormous. The margins are so fine, and you'd have to be the stoniest of hearted people not to have sympathy with them when it doesn't go in their favour, no matter who it is you're supporting, no matter who you hope wins. Natalia Escalera of Mexico is next. She's been a Pan American Championship medalist on the uneven bars. Jaeger, good strength to go back up to handstand. To the Katchev, straight to a back salto. And puts in the Dina somersault as well. So a lot of release moves in this display from Escalera. She really does hit that dismount. Wow. Good work from the 21-year-old. 7th best in qualification, 13.566. There's a lot going on in this display from Natalia Escalera. Uses variations of the Shaposhnikova transition to good effect. Sometimes she was a little shy of handstand. Pike work was nice in the Jaeger somersault. And she wraps tightly into the tuck position, opening out with security. .13.4. Second place. Mashava leads on the execution tiebreak. Player difficulty 5.9 from Escalera. We go to Jong Ryong-il of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. 33 from Pyongyang, the capital city. And he was 4th at the Asian Games last year, having finished 8th in Jakarta Palembang in 2018. And that was such a disappointment to him because he was the top qualifier all those years ago. This is the man who won in Cairo. It's a difficult skill and he's really well aligned in that inverted cross. With a small amount of yawing of the rings. Good level looking Maltese. Oh, he really hit that landing, didn't he? Jong Ryong-il came in as the 8th strongest in qualification, but always had the potential to do a lot better. He's not somebody that we have seen a great deal of at all internationally, as is always the case with the gymnasts from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. He's yet to compete at World Championship level. Absolutely thumped that landing. Should score rather nicely. 14.433, it's a lot better than qualification, almost a third of a mark higher. And he's in second place. Now to one of life's great pleasures, watching this routine. Kylian Amour of Algeria, top qualifier, the World Championship silver medalist last year. Brilliant, that innovative opening of hers. Everything so connected. The fluidity. Oh dear, that dismount, the double layout to finish, just stunning. Many times we've broken this routine down into its component parts, but actually it's the whole of it that is so impressive. This is one of the greatest demonstrations when you watch this routine of how to master physics, of how to work gravity in your favour. She doesn't fight against momentum, she uses it. It's brilliant.
Es gibt kein Element, was hier zu viel betont wird, selbst beim doppelseitigen Abgang, der in den Stand gezimmert worden ist. Kein Riesen da davor, also wirklich.
And you've got lovely skills in there, like the Ejeva. But isn't that the tidiest of landings? It doesn't have to be as high as qualification for her to still be the overwhelming favourite to win this. And it was hugely high in qualification, 15.433. She said that if she had the opportunity to take a photograph with anyone in the world right now, it would be the French Algerian social media star Lena Situation. The more we see gymnastics like that, the more it'll be Lena Situation asking to have a photograph with her. Because she's becoming an absolute world favourite in gymnastics at the moment. Algeria's Kéliane Amour. She has the unusual distinction, Amour, of having won medals at the African Championships, the Mediterranean Championships and the Arab Championships. She's done exactly as she did in qualification, but in a different way. The difficulty is up by 1/10 to a 7.0. It's a whopping great number. And she is the real deal. Arta Avatisyan of Armenia on the rings. He was 4th in Cairo. Another gymnast for whom this is an enormous routine in his quest to go to Paris. He really is doing well. If he can make this dismount tidy, it will be a good number. It's just a question of how secure he can be in the landing, because it really is going to go down to fine margins. He's very secure in the landing. Arta Avatisyan of Armenia. Nice way to appreciate the angle there as he moves up into the planche position. Twists round neatly into that landing. Steely looking man at the end of that. And then he breaks into a grin. Yes, well done to him. 14.566. Second place for Arta Avatisyan behind Samir Aid Said by a single 10th. we go to the last performance of the first half of the women's uneven bars final. It's Hu Jiafei from the People's Republic of China. A 17-year-old, an international debutant, but the silver medalist at the Chinese Championships at the end of last year. Ooh. Well, that's such an unfortunate moment for her. Just went wrong in the swing. Oh. Well, it really is not going according to plan for Hu Jiafei, and you can, in a situation like this, only imagine what she feels as somebody new to this kind of stage, new to international competition. There are moments in that routine where you see what a super young gymnast she is. They were only moments today, but if you can get onto the podium at the national championships in the People's Republic of China, you're a great young gymnast. That is not up for debate. Hand slipping off the apparatus. Sometimes problems create problems, just affect an athlete, and then the things that they have done so well, so consistently, time after time, become second guessed in their mind. The confidence drops a little. It's not for us to say what was in her mind during that routine, but what we can do is sympathise with her, because it can't have been easy. Watching on from in the arena and analysing things for the live crowd is Kim Bui, who knows just about all there is to know about the uneven bars and gymnastics at large. And Kim Bui will know that that sort of thing has happened to her before. And she'll remember the early days of her career, what it feels like to be on the international stage for the first time, and how you go away from it and reflect and refine and regroup, do all of the things that elite athletes do, so that next time is a little better. Teenager is from Guangdong province, right on the southeast coast of the People's Republic of China. And it was so impressive when she won that silver medal on the uneven bars at the Chinese Individual Championships last year, because it was the first time she'd been on the podium at senior level nationally.
Auch großen Applaus für das Umbauteam.
It's a long one here for this score to be calculated for Hu Jiafei. Still to come, we've got the second halves of the women's uneven bars and men's rings finals. And tomorrow we have the women's beam and floor exercise and the men's vault, parallel bars and horizontal bar to finish our coverage. The score is 9.8 for Hu Jiafei. We remind ourselves that this is a gymnast who is new to the senior international stage. Wish her good luck for whatever the next steps are and the next international assignments. Meanwhile, the warm-ups taking place for the competitors who are seeking to get onto that podium. Kellyanne Moore is well and truly ahead by over 2 marks. Mashova and Natalia Escalera. Mashova ahead of Escalera on the execution tiebreak. And over on the rings, it's quite close. We have Nikita Simonov to come, Hagen Davtyan, Courtney Tulloch, Harry Hepworth. Lot to go. This is a very significant routine coming up for Nikita Simonov. Real veteran waiting for his chance. Silver medalist in Cairo for Hagen Davtyan. Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan, top qualifier, 14.6. He was 6th in Cairo. This is the gymnast who won the World Cup title on rings last year. Started very smoothly. This is looking good value to move up towards the top of the leaderboard. Dismount coming up in terms of his qualification hopes, and it's a very secure one. Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan. He was 5th in the world in Antwerp at the end of last year. And he does lead Nikita Simonov 14.7. Goes ahead of Samir Aid Said. Big result for him in terms of qualification for Paris. Now to Zhang Yihan. People's Republic of China have qualified a women's team to the Games. So for gymnasts like Zhang Yihan, who's only 16, this is more about her own development as an international athlete. For the layout Jaeger somersault. Didn't quite make it, but wasn't a million miles away. She has been a junior national champion on this piece. She is the younger of the two Chinese competitors in this final. The nicely executed Leo Kachev there. That's the Jaeger somersault performed well. Oh, it's a very fine dismount. Lots of really good components in that display from Zhang Yihan. Some very interesting skill selection too. Some release moves in the layout position. This is the layout Jaeger somersault early on. And she employs a circle layout Kachev as well. The Kachev into the back salto. And then twisting and tucking well for that dismount. She is from Henan province in the east of China, the third largest of all of the Chinese provinces by population, 99 million people. It is famous as the birthplace of Tai Chi, one of the most widely practiced of all of the Chinese martial arts that fall under the umbrella of Wushu. Once again we see the layout Jaeger at the start. .6 is the score. She's in second place, down by 0.9 from qualification. She does pick up an extra tenth of difficulty. Vahagan Davtyan of Armenia is next. Fourth in qualification, and the silver medalist in Cairo at the first World Cup qualification event. 35 now. And he was 4th at the World Championships last year. For him, it will come down to cleanliness more than difficulty, as is always the case. And his planche is lovely to start. He's a very graceful athlete on the rings. Listen to Maltese. To a well-controlled iron cross. Gets nice height on his planche. Little quest for stability in the handstand. What about on the dismount? That's a joy! Very good landing from Bahagen Davtyan. Always stylish. And he's been so dependable over the years. How lovely it would be for Armenian gymnastics if he could get to an Olympiad. He's done so much for the sport, not just as a competitor, but from a governance point of view. He's really at the heart of trying to improve sporting pathways for young people. He cares so much, Bahagen Davtyan. .14.6. Execution and difficulty both up a little from qualification to the 3rd place. So it is still Simonov. Now to New Zealand's Georgia Rose Brown. Formerly competed for Australia. 6th best in qualification. Salto. Maloney to transition. Getting a somersault, builds the power back up again. Very experienced athlete is Georgia Rose Brown. Just recently celebrated her 29th birthday. Doctoral candidate in physiotherapy at the University of Melbourne. 5 times a World Cup medalist on the uneven bars. Look back at the Ginga somersault. This toe on Shaposhnikova, Maloney really attacks the Stolder work. Almost a decade ago that she won her first Commonwealth Games medal in Glasgow. Went on to win a couple more in the Gold Coast Games of 2018. how she would love to add the Olympic Games to an extraordinary and long resume as an international gymnast. She has a score of 13.533. New Zealand's Georgia Rose Brown goes into the bronze medal position. Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain. He was 8th in Cairo, had real problems in the final, scoring 12.166. 7th best qualifier here. The reigning 2-time Commonwealth Games champion on the rings. Lots of precision so far. First of those we've seen, the running cross with the legs brought fully up into the V position. This is looking very nice. It's a good performance from Courtney Tulloch. Really strong work on the apparatus, a small landing adjustment. Can he improve upon the 8.033 for execution that he posted in the preliminary round? Another gymnast who has contributed so much to the teams at World and European Championship level and Commonwealth Games level for England. Masses of strength required to do that and to make it look so composed. Well, it was so composed. Doesn't have too huge an adjustment as he lands. 14.4, it's up from qualifying by fewer than 2/10. He's in 6th place. Aliona Titavets, independent neutral athlete. 15-year-old who made her senior international debut in Cairo. And she looked very good in qualification here. It was the 4th best. Purposeful and swingful going into the straddle Jaeger somersault. An exciting performance from a very young athlete. A new international senior, Aliona Titavets. First time that she's made international finals. She gets good height in the straddle Jaeger. Really attacked it as well. This was confident-looking work from a young gymnast. Tidiness is not fully there yet in terms of the dismount. her score in qualification was 14.133. If she gets close to that, she goes into second place, and that's exactly as she's done. And that's a medal guaranteed for the senior debutant this season in her first ever World Cup final. Aljona Tsiravets has won a medal. We finish on the rings with Harry Hepworth of Great Britain. Ninth best in qualification. He comes in as the first reserve after the withdrawal of Mahdi Ahmad Kohani of Iran. But Hepworth was a finalist on rings at the World Championships last year. And when you, as a team, have got somebody who can deliver this sort of profile of scores on floor Volton rings, it's a potential massive asset. Exciting, isn't he? Harry Hepworth, 20 from Cookridge in the northwest suburbs of Leeds. And he has become, from an execution standpoint, so much more reliable of late. .2, he's up by 1/10 from qualification, goes into 7th place. So it is Simonov 14.7, Aid Saeed 14.666, and Vahagan Davtian 14.6, the podium. We finish with Maëlys Brassard of Belgium, 13.666 in qualification, 5th best. So there is potential for her to get onto the podium with Zhang Yihan of China, currently holding bronze on 13.6. So if Brassard does as she did in qualifying, she wins a medal. And it would be her first World Cup honours. Starts with the original Shaposhnikova. Sense of flight in the Pax Salto. Now the Van Leuven. She dismounts well. Good routine from Maëlys Brassard, who had a 5.7 difficulty score in the preliminary round. She didn't make the uneven bars final in Cairo.
Noch in der Qualifikation 5. gewesen, hat sie hier heute als letztes geturnt und wirklich eine tolle Übung gemacht.
The Belgians had a very tough time of things at their home World Championships in Antwerp on the women's side of things, with some big injury absences. Managed to qualify a full team. 13.6 is the current bronze medal holding score. It is Zhang Yihan of the People's Republic of China. Above that, Aliona Tsitavets. And there is Brassard changing the leaderboard for her first World Cup honours, the Belgian. 13.7. Her score, it's up a fraction from qualifying, and it's good enough to earn a place on the podium. The classified results in the women's uneven bars competition: Algeria's Kélian Amour with a 7.0 difficulty score, taking the title ahead of senior debutant this year, Aliona Tsitavets of the independent neutral athletes, Maëlys Brassard of Belgium winning the bronze medal. On the rings, Armenia's Vahagan Davtyan takes the bronze medal. Sami Aid Said of France wins silver, and Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan is the champion. All of that makes for a very interesting picture in terms of rings qualification.
Brata, stopp mal kurz, Bruder. Weil normalerweise ich mach sowas nicht, aber 3, 2, 1.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it, doing better than anybody you ever seen. Do it straight from the A's, got a nice ring to it. I guess it's real.
Well done to the pair of them. A little irreverence to bring to a close the drama of Olympic qualification. And we now bring you the final victory ceremonies of the day.
Da seht ihr sie, genau. Das ist die Medaille, das ist die Damensorgschwäche Nachts. Und da sind die Menschen. Und hoffen wir gleich auf die Leute, die uns repräsentieren. Hier sehen wir sie, die Gold-, Silber- und Bronzemedaille, die gleich wollen. Und vielleicht auch diese Rechtsleistung gleich anlassen lassen. Dann nehmen Sie noch mal ein Turnier-T-Shirt, das offizielle Turnier-T-Shirt, erfahrungsgemäß den letzten Tag. Überprüfen, wie die begrüßt, wenn überhaupt verfügbar. Also heute ist die Gelegenheit, sich auch mit Turniermeister einzudecken. Und das seht ihr, die Glaskugel, die es beim Turnier der Meister gibt für die Bestplatzierten. Und sind sie schwer oder geht es? Okay, sie sind nicht. Aber du kannst ja gleich aus der Hand geben, denn wir kommen nun zur Siegerehrung.
The victory ceremony for the women's uneven bars competition at the COTTBUS 2024 World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics, part of the Paris 2024 qualification process.
Der dritte Platz und damit die Bronzemedaille geht an Maëlys Brassard aus Frankreich.
Maëlys Brassard of Belgium, the bronze medalist.
Der zweite Preis und damit die Silbermedaille geht an
Alyona Tiravets, independent neutral athlete, the winner of the silver medal. A very impressive display from the 15-year-old. But frankly, from the moment that she landed, this one felt done and dusted. Kélia Namour of Algeria, World Championship silver medalist last year in Antwerp. Already a qualifier for the Olympic Games, courtesy of the all-around competition in Antwerp last year. But just further establishing her credentials as one of the absolute finest uneven bars performers in the world. And we will now have the national anthem of Algeria. A history-making moment in World Cup artistic gymnastics as we hear Kassaman, We Pledge, the national anthem of Algeria. It was written by Mufti Zakaria and Mohamed Fawzi in 1962. It was adopted as the national anthem in that year when Algeria gained its independence from France. Victory ceremony for the men's still rings competition in COTTBUS at the World Cup, in what is shaping up to be a fascinating Olympic qualification pathway. The winner of the bronze medal is Armenia's Vahagan Davtyan. A veteran once again performing at the highest level, on the subject of which Samir Ait Said of France, a brilliant display from him, dreaming of a home games, one of the most resilient gymnasts out there. And Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan is the champion, and he's won it marginally. 1/10 of a mark separating the top three, a classic rings final. And for Simonov, a great result after finishing only 6th in Cairo. And we will hear now the national anthem of Azerbaijan.
Und ich bitte Sie nun, sich nicht die Hymne zu erheben.
Look at what it means to Nikita Simonov. There they are, the medalists in the rings competition, the FIG World Cup in COTTBUS.
Aber wir haben ja noch einen zweiten Finaltag morgen. Dort treten die Damen die Herren an, im Sprung, am Barren und am Reck.
And that brings to a close our coverage on this, the first day of competition in COTTBUS, with 5 more finals to come tomorrow. Hope to enjoy the action with your company again. Same time in 24 hours. We'll see you for the next stage of the Paris 2024 Olympic qualification process. Until then, it's goodbye.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'll be back here at 4:30 Central. Actually, no, hold on. Let me think about that. Be back here at. Let me check my schedule. I was just looking at it. Oh yeah. Be back here at, let's do 3 p.m. Central. I have a surprise for y'all. It's my birthday gift to y'all from me on my birthday. With a birthday present for my birthday. On my birthday present. To be here at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Okay? We're going to be watching day 2 of Big Fives. And I have a surprise for y'all. So, love you all. I will see you then. I'm going to get a little nappy nap, and I'll see you then. Bye. I will make a tweet. I promise. I'll make a tweet.